about that Miami game, the Ravens defense needs some help right now. And I think getting, after watching that game, I think adding veterans is probably a better move than adding young assets because it was not a good week for it. We saw Kyle Hamilton, he talked to the media. I don't know if it was a true press conference, but I saw quotes from him talking about how, like, this is something that you can't put on, he's not someone that, this was my favorite part about it, was he was not like, oh man, I'm just a young guy, got to get better. He was like, no, that's not an excuse for what happened. Like, he's like, I need to be better no matter what. And I really felt like Kyle Hamilton took the initiative that you don't see out of a lot of other guys. And I really like that. And so hopefully this is a bounce back week for him. He comes from a blue collar school. He comes from a blue collar program in the Notre Dame defense. The Ravens may not have the best rapport recently with Notre Dame prospects, but let's change it with Kyle Hamilton. I rarely saw Miles Boykin coming out there being like, man, I just got to be better. I'm just saying. We weren't seeing that after the drops. We weren't him being like, man, I can't blame that on my hands. I can't do that. No. We never heard from him. He was a ghost. We saw Miles Boykin on 3rd and 4 and less. Like, that's when we saw him. He didn't do anything on those plays, but we saw him check in. And also when the Rams are up like 35 on the Miami Dolphins, then we also see him catching touchdowns as well. So overall, I like the initiative that Kyle Hamilton took, but this defense going into the New England Patriots is a very different system. What do you think they need to work on the most, Joshua, defensively? We'll say over the next 2 weeks, right? Because we got the Patriots, then we have the Bills. What do they need to fix the most?
I think it just really comes down to fundamentals of communication. I mean, you had to understand your playbook. Y'all done had a lot of time to understand your playbook. And I don't know, of course, when you go against different teams, different systems, there's going to be more plays installed for the week. But, it's going to be different variations off the base of what you already know, what you already understand as a player, and what you've been doing for, dang near maybe 5 plus 10 years of your life. I mean, this is a child's sport. So, I mean, it doesn't get no easier when you're playing it. The only thing you got to do is catch up with the speed on the next level. We already know Kyle Hamilton has the IQ. We know he has the IQ, excuse me. We know he can, we know he can play in the NFL. We've seen him out there these past 2 weeks getting around the ball, striking. All we just need him to do is use his thinking cap when it comes to that pass coverage and make a play, and we can't have that miscommunication in the secondary. We have a better group. We have better safeties. Chuck Clark, yes, he's still there, but they use him in a way where he's still effective. In our nickel defense, having him as the coverage linebacker, I absolutely love it. It makes him become more aggressive, and he doesn't have the best of speed, but he can line up on a tight end every now and then, and he's very aggressive. So we just gotta be more fundamental. Understand our playbook. Go out there, play as a unit, and just really get after the ball and run game. We've been letting these guys run on us. I mean, was it Michael Carter from the Jets and who was the running back for
I mean, we went against Carter, Breece Hall, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, I believe.
Yeah, they was doing a dang on thing. I mean, come on now, y'all. Stephen A. Smith, I know everybody don't love him, but he said it the best. The Baltimore Ravens for the past 26, 27 years, we have been built on defense. Yes, now we're in the Lamar Jackson era. We know we're going to get points. We know we're going to light up the scoreboard. But at the same time, defense win you championships. And I'm not saying, Patrick Queen has to be the next Ray Lewis. I'm not saying Marcus Williams has to be the next Eric Reed. But these guys have to be
kind of looking like it.
Yes, he is. But what I'm saying is they have to be the best variation of themselves. If they want to, keep on, getting that notoriety, if they want to become that all-pro guy, they want to become that Pro Bowler, if they want to be that champion, they have to dig deep within themselves, have a team meeting, whatever the case is, get healthy, learn how to tackle, clog the holes, hit everything that moves, and make turnovers. and play Ravens football.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the thing that you brought up that I like the most is the communication, right? And playing fundamental football. That is what the Ravens need to do. That is what all defenses need to do. But overall, the Ravens, their biggest issue, not this year. I mean, this year is their biggest issue, I think. But over the last couple of seasons, what has it been? It's been communication in the secondary, within the defense. And I don't know exactly who is to blame. Nobody knows outside of the Baltimore Ravens building.
Mm-hmm.
But the signal caller of the defense has been the same over the last couple of seasons. And everyone around him keeps shifting, right? New corners, new safeties, new linebackers. And it's always still breaking down. We've even gotten a new defensive coordinator. Chuck Clark has been the signal caller. Chuck Clark has played well this season. I have no problems with his play this season. But maybe it's time for a change just in the signal caller. Maybe don't have it be in the secondary, right? I don't know exactly what's going on with the communication, but something, because how it goes from Mike McDonald to Chuck Clark to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Something in that process isn't working, and the middleman is Chuck. And too often we see guys, and it could be situations like Jalen Armour-Davis on the deep touchdown to Tyreek Hill. He thought he had safety help. Maybe that could be 100% on him. Maybe he got the play wrong. Maybe he interpreted. Maybe he heard it and was like, "I thought we were running cover 6 because we saw Marcus Peters play underneath. I thought we were going cover 6, but I thought I was on the side, where I had safety help." Maybe it was a situation like that where like he got the play properly, he just misinterpreted it, and maybe it's completely on him. But there were 2-3 plays where it's like guys are just messing up and doing that thing. Again, I don't know if it's Chuck Clark. It could be individual players just making boneheaded mistakes on their own.
Yeah.
But I mean, this has been happening for the last couple of years where guys turn around, they're like, "Where's the safety help? I thought I had safety help." That is a consistent theme for the Ravens. And I know a lot of time, it happens to every team a couple times a year. But I mean, it was almost every game last year.
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, wow, look at that. Once again, here's Justin Jefferson running behind us. Here's Jamar Chase running behind us." And the guys are turning around like Tyrann Mathieu turning around for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, dude, where's the safety? What is he doing?
Yeah.
Either they're expecting safety help and they're not supposed to be expecting it, or the safeties are supposed to be giving safety help and they're not giving it. That communication right there is, I think, the biggest problem with this defense. And there's a lot of problems, right? The pass rush isn't getting there as quickly as possible, but I think the miscommunications, because the pass rush not getting there on certain plays, right?
Yeah.
It can, they may get 6 yards, right? Boom, he hit that check down. He had enough time. The miscommunication in the secondary is, wow, 65 yards, touchdown. Those are much bigger issues, right?
Yeah.
The Ravens are a team that is supposed to control the clock, and they're supposed to kind of destroy the opponents in their ability to get those big plays. They want to shrink the field, and they want to make them slowly get up the field. And then, one of their playmakers, right? Because that's why you have Marcus Peters, Marcus Williams. You have these guys that can make these big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Give them more. The more opportunities they have, the more plays the opposing offense has in a drive, the more opportunities. Now, obviously, you want a 3 and out. But I would rather have a 9-play touchdown drive for the opponent than a 1-play touchdown drive for the opponent. Because the 9-play, at least they're not getting over the top. Make them really work for that touchdown. We don't want a busted coverage, because a lot of people are hyping up too. And I saw someone I put out on Twitter and in the YouTube community section. I said, "Hey, we're doing a podcast, or anything you want us to bring up?" And somebody brought up, I believe it was on the YouTube side, so I will pull that up. Here it is. It comes from Shaquan Scott. It says, "Talk about how the Dolphins loss was a fluke and how everyone is making Tua out to be Joe Montana." We'll talk about the Tua to be Joe Montana. We're bailing him out. Tua played well. I have no problems with Tua's play.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of those situations were wide open guy, Tua's hitting him. Like, we're making Tua look like Joe Montana. Like, yeah, he did look like Joe Montana. Why? Because everybody was wide open. We're bailing him out. We're giving him layups and layups and layups. And these teams are going to hit those. These are NFL quarterbacks. Every quarterback in the NFL can hit those, right? Maybe not Tyler Huntley, but that's a deep ball. The Tyler Huntley believers are going to be upset about that one. But overall, communication, I think, is the biggest thing on the defense. And because if you get that communication, everybody can play their role. The Bill Belichick fundamental, do your job. If you don't know your job, it's hard to do it. And the communication is what gets the job to the players.
Absolutely. I mean, back to the Tua situation. Like, people, did we not say in the pregame show that he has arguably the fastest wide receiver core right now?
Oh, yeah.
And he's not scared to throw the ball no more. They're letting these guys fly. And with having the two fastest guys in your wide receiving group, you can give them slant routes and they can make things happen. We saw Jalen Waddle hit a 10 and out or a dig. I mean, so hey, Tua, listen, y'all deserve the Bears. Y'all deserve to win because y'all saw our mishaps, y'all saw our miscues, y'all took advantage of it, and we didn't respond. Defensively, we didn't respond. So hey, by all means, y'all got that win. But don't think that's gonna happen every Sunday for the Miami Dolphins, especially for Mr. Tua Tagovailoa. His little brother don't even do that at the University of Maryland. He barely did it at Alabama. And he had another great wide receiving core when he was at Alabama. So, everybody that's Fins fans, everybody that's saying, after this season, Lamar's going to go to Miami and Tua's going to be out of a job. No. Miami, Baltimore, Florida, Baltimore going to be here in Florida, Baltimore. Tua is going to stay in Miami. And all that y'all saw last week, it ain't going to be an every week thing. So, I mean, by all means, Tua, I'm going to clap it up for you. 6 touchdowns, but this is not going to be an every week thing for him. Believe that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, the Ravens' miscommunications were atrocious, and it was just too many situations. He's got the wide receivers. There's going to be games where he looks good, but it's not going to be every week, right? Week 1, they got the dub. They were against the Patriots. They had one big play, and it was on it wasn't a check down, but I want to say it was a 10-yard pass, and I think Waddle broke it out 40 yards and ended up getting that touchdown. So overall, we're going to see what the Miami Dolphins are, but in terms of the Ravens,